Hey y'all, Jay Christensen here with Christensen Components, and today I'm going to do a quick installation video on the Toni System Components Beretta 1301 Comp Pro extension kit. I've got the extension kit laid out. I've got the extended spring that's going to come with, the extended tube, barrel clamp, and Toni System Diablo follower. The only tool you're going to need for this is an Allen wrench to tighten the screws on the barrel clamp and to take the plug out of the magazine tube from the factory. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is just make sure the shotgun's empty. So we look inside, we see the follower, physically feel, make sure there's not a shell in the tube, pull back the bolt, make sure you got an empty chamber, we know the gun is empty. What I like to do is I hit the shell latch here, dropping the lifter, and that allows me to pull the bolt to the rear and lock it back. That'll take some tension off of that recoil system underneath the handguard here and make it a little bit easier to work with. So first part you're going to want to remove is just a factory barrel nut. Just screw that off. We'll set it off to the side because we're not going to need it after this. Then we're just going to pull off your forearm. It just slides straight off the end without taking the barrel off. Next thing you're going to do is take your tool, the Allen wrench, screwdriver, whatever you decided to use, putting pressure on this factory plug here that holds your magazine tube spring in. So put a little pressure on it, and there's a tab right here in this cutout. You just need to push it in, allowing that to release from the mag tube. And we're going to keep our hand on this because it's got spring tension under it. So we're going to pull the retainer, pull the factory plug, and then the spring, factory spring, is going to come out of that as well. Okay, so once we have those parts out, we're not going to need them anymore, so we'll just set them off to the side. So now that we've got it broken down, we're going to start putting the extension kit on the gun. So in the kit, you get a brand new Diablo follower from Toni System. This follower is actually already in the gun from the factory, which we just left it in the tube, so we're not going to worry about changing that out. We'll just have an extra one to set aside. First thing I want to do when I'm going back together with it, I'm going to put the forearm or handguard back on. Just slides back on just the way it came off. Next, you want to take the extended spring that came in the kit. We're going to put that in the tube, either end first, doesn't matter, both sides are the same. Then what you want to do is you're going to take your extension tube and you're going to feed that spring into the tube. Okay, so I want to feed that spring into the factory tube while I'm compressing it from the extension until we get those to mate up, and then we'll start to screw that together. Okay, once that's on, we're just going to tighten it up. And you don't have to kill this on here, just get it snug until everything's locked down. Okay, so now that we got that nice and tight, that tube is now installed onto the gun. Okay. Next we want to take our barrel clamp, which I took it apart. So you got the two halves and the screws. So each half has a larger side and a smaller side. The larger part, which is the bottom, is going to go on the tube, and the top, which is thinner, is going to go onto the barrel. Once you make that up, you just set your screws in, crank it down, and that's where we'll go. Now we got that barrel clamp installed. So it's got a recess cut into the mag tube itself that tells you where it goes. So just get it into that spot, put your screws in, crank them down a little bit. Don't do it too tight because you don't want to crush your barrel or your tube. So I usually put about 10 or 15 inch-pounds on there. Once we get to shooting it and get it moving around a little bit, I like to check them just to make sure everything stays tight later on. So that's it for the installation of the Toni System Components extension kit for the Beretta 1301 Comp Pro shotgun. Again, this one is on the 24-inch barreled version, which is basically flush with the kit. If you have the 21-inch, you're going to have about 3 or 4 inches of overhang from the tube past the barrel. So this kit here, again, makes your shotgun a 10+1 capacity of 2 3/4 inch shells. You can pick up your Toni System Extension Kit for the Beretta 1301 Comp Pro at christensencomponents.com, as well as other excellent products. Hop on there and check us out, and we'll see you on the range.